What's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and 2024 for the UFC is over. And last year I made a video basically talking about who I thought would be the champions by now. And now in this video I want to talk about who I think will be the champions by the end of 2025. I'll be going through all the women divisions and all the male divisions as well. And with that being said, let's start off with the strawweight division. And in this weight class, the current champion is Zhang Weili. But by the end of 2025, I think that Tatiana Suarez will be the new strawweight champion. I think that she's going to beat Zhang Weili when they fight in February. I feel like Zhang Weili's recent fights, she hasn't really looked too good. She's been implementing a lot of grappling, and it seems like it's fatiguing her, and she was slowing down in some of those fights. And I feel like Tatiana Suarez is going to have the grappling advantage in this one. I think that she's going to out-grapple Weili, outwork her, and maybe even potentially submit her. And yeah, I just feel like Weili's overall striking has regressed due to all her grappling. And I feel like when she's going up against Tatiana Suarez, she's not going to be able to just, dominate on the ground and just have a clear advantage over her. I think it's going to be a very tough fight for Weili, and I think that she's going to lose. Moving on to the women's flyweight division, and I think that Manon Fiorot is going to beat Valentina Shevchenko and become the women's flyweight champion. I think Manon is a phenomenal striker in the flyweight division. She's also going up against a tough and skilled grappler in Erin Blanchfield. I mean, we saw what she did with Rose Namajunas. And I feel like she's going to be prepared for Valentina's grappling. She's going to know what Valentina's going to do. And Manon looked really strong in her last performance. She had great striking, and she can go the distance as well. And I feel like now at this stage in Valentina's career, she's not as dangerous on the feet as she used to be. I mean, she nearly lost to a girl like Taylor Santos, who just got knocked out over in the PFL. But I think that Manon Fiorot is going to be the new champion, and she's going to become the first undisputed champion for France. Then we move on to the women's bantamweight division, and I think that Amanda Nunes is going to come out of retirement, and she's going to beat the hell out of Kayla Harrison or Juliana Pena again. And I feel like, to be honest, I think that Juliana Pena is going to lose to Kayla Harrison, and then Kayla Harrison is going to get on the mic and call out Amanda Nunes, and Amanda Nunes is going to come back and knock her out, and then just walk off and basically say, none of you are on my level, and don't even mention my name. But now moving on to the men's divisions, and first in the flyweight division, I think that the new flyweight champion is going to be Kai Kara-France, and I had the wrong Kai, and the UFC had the wrong Kai, and Kai Kara-France is a real one who is going to be able to beat Alexandre Pantoja. It wasn't that dude from Ryzen. I think Kai Kara-France is very powerful. He's got great takedown defense, and he's got a great ability to escape dangerous positions. I mean, we've seen him get his back taken multiple times, but he was able to stay calm, escape it the right way, and then get back to his feet. And I feel like he's going to be very, very dangerous for Pantoja whenever he's striking. He's going to be explosive. He's got dangerous knockout power. I think he's got maybe the second most knockdowns, or maybe the third most knockdowns in the flyweight division currently. So this guy is a big threat to Pantoja, and I think that he's going to beat him maybe in May. And then I think that towards the end of the year, he is going to fight Manel Kape, and he is going to end that blood feud with a knockout over Manel Kape. Moving on to the bantamweight division, and this one might be a bit of a hot take, but I think that Petr Yan is going to get his belt back. I think that Umar Nurmagomedov is going to beat Merab Dvalishvili, and then Petr Yan is potentially going to fight the winner of that fight, or they might give it to Sugar Sean O'Malley, and then maybe Petr Yan rematches a guy like Corey Sandhagen, beats him again, and then Petr Yan fights the winner of Umar versus Sean O'Malley, which I think will be Umar. But even if it's Sean O'Malley, I think that Petr Yan has a style to beat both of those guys. I think that Merab is just the most difficult style of matchup for him, but I think that Merab will lose his belt to Umar, and I feel like Petr Yan is going to be able to beat Umar Nurmagomedov if they fight, and I think he'll end the year as the new bantamweight champion. But moving on to the featherweight division, and this one is pretty simple. I think that Ilia Topuria is going to be the champion. I know he's moving up to the lightweight division, but I feel like he is gonna fight Dustin Poirier, and since Islam Makhachev is fighting Arman early in February, he's probably gonna fight Oliveira in May. And I feel like to Poirier, he might be able to get a fight maybe in April, or maybe he should even aim for March to fight Dustin Poirier, and then come back to the featherweight division, maybe fight a guy like Diego Lopez or Volk again. And potentially, if Elias stays active, he could fight Islam Makhachev in October, but I feel like ultimately he'll get one fight in the lightweight division. I think that Islam Makhachev is going to fight in January. I think he might fight maybe in the summer against Oliveira, and then he might choose to go up to the welterweight division, because I don't think Belal is going to be the champion. But I feel like Ilia Topuria will end 2025 as the featherweight champion, because I don't think that any featherweight is beating him. But I mean, the only way he doesn't end the year as champion is if he vacates the title, but I don't really see that happening. But moving on to the lightweight division, and I think that Islam Makhachev is going to beat Arman Tsarukyan. I think that he's going to beat Oliveira again, and then he is going to be looking to challenge for the welterweight title, and I think that he will still be the lightweight champion by the end of 2025. Moving on to the welterweight division, I think that Shavkat Rakhmonov is going to end the year as the welterweight champion. I think that he is going to beat Belal Muhammad. I think that he is going to be very dangerous. And, you know, he hasn't looked the best in his last two fights, but I feel like he was a lot more tentative on the feet, because he understood that those guys were good strikers and they could potentially punish him coming in. But I think that Belal isn't as good of a striker as at least Wonderboy. And I think that Shavkat is going to recognize that. He's going to be more aggressive. And I think that Belal is going to get hit quite a bit, and he might even get hurt. I don't think he has the best of chins, and people say that Shavkat doesn't really move his head, but I feel like that isn't really accurate. He does move his head. He does, you know, defend punches, and I feel like his defense is getting better. He's also got a great jab that I think he'll use a lot against Belal, and he's not going to be tentative like Leon Edwards. He's not just going to be like backing up like Gilbert Burns, and he's not Sean Brady on the feet. He's going to be aggressive, and I think that he is going to take that belt. And then I think that he'll fight either Leon Edwards if Leon beats Sean Brady, or JDM if he beats Kamaru Usman, and I feel like he could potentially beat both of those guys, but I think he'll end the year as the welterweight champion. Moving on to the middleweight division, I think that Dricus du Plessis is going to end the year as a champion. I think that he'll beat and finish Sean Strickland in February. And then I think he's going to take on Khamzat Chimaev. And given Dricus du Plessis' track record, I think he's only going to have those two fights this year. And I think that he'll beat Khamzat Chimaev as well. I think he'll be able to survive the early grappling onslaught from Khamzat and eventually get back into the fight and get a finish over Khamzat. And in the light heavyweight division, I think that Alex Pereira is going to end the year as a champion. I think that he should fight Magomed Ankalaev next. I've heard rumors that apparently Khamzat Chimaev is going to fight Alex Pereira, which I don't really want to see. It doesn't really make sense. I want to see Khamzat Chimaev stay in the middleweight division. I think that makes a lot more sense, and it's not really fair to Magomed Ankalaev, who's clearly earned a title fight. But I think that Magomed would lose to Alex Pereira. He said many times that he wants to strike with him, and that is not the move. I think that he'll get KO within 2 rounds. And then I could see Alex Pereira fighting maybe the winner of Yuri versus Jamal. If Jamal wins, then I could definitely see the UFC making Jamal Hill versus Alex Pereira too. We've seen that, you know, Jamal Hill doesn't really like Pereira. He tried to get in his face at the PI. Pereira basically told him to glove up or shut up, and Jamal Hill, like, he didn't really put the gloves on, and, you know, they've had some beef. They don't really like each other. Pereira calls him his son. Jamal Hill saying that the referee basically got in the way, X, Y, and Z. So that would be a pretty interesting rematch, and I think that Pereira would beat Jamal Hill again, and then I think after that, Alex Pereira will fight the winner of Jan Blachowicz versus Carlos Ulberg, which I think will be Carlos Ulberg. And I think that Pereira is going to beat him too. And that's 3 fights. That's Pereira's usual fights every year. And then after that, he might move up to the heavyweight division in 2026. But I think Alex Pereira will end the year as the light heavyweight champion. And then moving on to the heavyweight division, I think that Jon Jones will actually be the undisputed champion. I know a lot of people are saying Tom Aspinall this, Tom Aspinall that, but I feel like because people think that Jon Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall, they're almost overrating Tom Aspinall. They're making it seem like he's this insane, like, touch of death fighter, which I don't really think is the case. I know he's got a lot of speed, he's got a lot of knockout power, but I don't know if he touches you, you go down. I feel like Curtis Blades just walked into his punches, Sergey walked into his punches, and Volkov, when he didn't walk into his punches, he didn't really go down. And yes, Stipe did, get close to landing shots on Jon Jones, but Jon Jones was moving with the shots. He was like rolling with the punches, and I think he'll do the same with Aspinall's punches, and I think he'll eventually get the fight to the ground. And I've seen a fight where Tom Aspinall looked like a fish out of water on the ground against this dude named Stuart Austin, and I feel like Jon Jones would exploit that weakness in Tom Aspinall's game and potentially stop him within 3 rounds. And after that, Jon Jones might vacate the title, or he might campaign for a fight against Alex Pereira for 2026. And that wraps up who I think will be the champion in each weight class in the UFC by the end of 2025. Let me know what you guys think of this. Let me know your predictions down below. Thank you guys for watching. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.